Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on Friday, the 12th of January. As always, we bring you the news, community stories, economics, the weather and sports. I am Ashwin Berry.
And I am Micheline Navatise.
Let's get straight into the news stories. Activist Michael Mshelelo, who also serves in the structure of the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters, says that they will not allow anyone to rig the 2024 presidential and National Assembly elections. Mshelelo alleges that it is African for elections to be rigged. Kenya Kambowe reports.
2024 is going to be the year where we as Namibians must say we have suffered enough, we have been oppressed enough, we have been exploited enough, we have been underpaid enough, we've been undervalued enough, and this is the year we must say that enough with SWAPO, enough. Obviously, we know the corrupt generals, the likes of Shikongo, they are obviously going to cook the election results, but we are more than prepared to deal with that cooking of the elections. We know very well in Africa, elections are rigged, then we'll see SADC quickly, immediately endorsing to say, yes, congratulations, whether it's going to be Netumbo or whether we don't know if Sisa Namanje, we don't know who's going to run from SWAPO as a candidate. But we will not allow any fake endorsements of elections that have been rigged in this country. We are now more than prepared to defend the constitution of this country because as we are currently speaking, we still have an unconstitutional president who has been sitting in the office for the last 4 years. We all remember very well the 2019 elections. The Supreme Court ruled that the elections was unfair, but
all right. Of course, that's quite the blanket statement to say Africa means elections are going to be rigged. But what are your thoughts on this?
I think this is going to be a crazy year, first of all. And I just hope that we do not have any counterfeit votes. We do not have any corruption taking place because let's not make it a fair
and fair election.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and I think some of the concerns that might come out is that internationally there were elections, for example, which were considered not credible by international bodies and SADC, like the Zimbabwean election, which were endorsed by the Namibian president. And perhaps that's Michael Mshelelo's angle, just wondering about our moral capacity when it comes to elections. Of course. Well, but I do believe that Namibia is on its way to a free and fair election,
of course.
Especially with the removal of the machines.
Yes, exactly. That's what I wanted to say now because they said it was faulty at some point.
Yes,
so now we know that it was faulty. So the fact that that is removed is already a step in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So let's see how that goes.
Let's see how democracy plays out. Now, in a collaborative effort with August 26 Construction, the Namibian government has taken the lead in constructing and expanding classrooms in the Rongo region, specifically in Swakopmund, as well as Walvis Bay. This initiative was prompted by a significant surge in student enrollment in these coastal towns. Construction, which began in early 2023, has reached the majority of its completion in Swakopmund with only an administration block pending. Construction workers on site states the school is ready for its recipients starting Monday the 15th of January. However, the project faced challenges last year in November when contract workers protested non-payment for 3 consecutive months. Workers involved in the construction of the school in Swakopmund claimed that the lack of materials as well as delayed payments hindered their progress. It was unclear at the time as to what led to the delay in payment, as the same construction operation is running in Walvis Bay under the same company with no complaints. Now, pleas were made to August 26, the main contractor, to address the issue or intervene with subcontractors to release funds. Similarly, the construction operation in Walvis Bay, also under August 26, reported no such complications, despite attempts to seek an official report from the Regional Director of Education, Enfrede Stefanas. No response was available at the time of the publication. What are your thoughts on this?
Sure. The fact it's quite a bit sketchy or suspicious. The fact that it's the same company operating at in different towns, in their pleas in one town, in the other. So I think we need to just come to a consensus, iron out what's wrinkled, and just continue because this is for our future leaders.
Definitely, and once the word procurement comes up, Africans tend to pay a little more attention because a lot of corruption happens to happen in such circles, and we certainly hope that's not the case. Moving on to our third story, Oshana police are urging the community to watch out and avoid speaking to strangers seeking assistance for guidance or language translations, as some are criminals waiting to pounce. These These are the sentiments of Oshana Community Affairs Officer Inspector Thomas Ayambo, who said the criminals are targeting parents visiting the shops to buy back-to-school items for their children. Ayambo said the criminals are also pretending to be offering the parents and guardians an option of selling less expensive uniforms behind any shopping centers. Once you follow them to see these cheaper options, you get robbed, he warned. Ayambo made the announcement on the national radio on Thursday, as well as saying he had to take the necessary steps as his office has been inundated with reports of scamming activities occurring in areas of Ongediva, Ondangwa and Oshakati. If parents are not vigilant, they could be easily tricked by some scammers who are returning to their old ways, he said. Ayambo said other forms being used by scammers are translation, giving direction to someone who is seemingly lost. He said if the public wants to assist, they should refer the lost person to the nearest police station for assistance. Some will request you to take parcels to an unknown person who does not speak local language or English. These are all traps, he stressed. Back to school crime. Who would have thought about it? I've never quite heard of this particular scheme.
And I think the translators make it an effort to use every opportunity. I must say I was almost a victim to this. Yes, I was involved with 2 translators, and the same package that officer is talking about, they wrapped it in a sellotape, but I could feel there was nothing in it. So they were trying to trick me. Yes, one couldn't speak Afrikaans for some reason. Both of them couldn't speak Afrikaans. There was a middleman.
What? Oh my
So
goodness.
I had to translate and direct. And I was like, nope, I'm not doing this.
I was raised only speaking Shona and English, and even I prat the Afrikaans when I need to. In our Story of the Day segment, Footsteps for Africa renovates Eros Girls School Hostel. See you soon.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Let's get into the story of the day. Today marks a significant milestone at Eros Girls School as they received their first renovated hostel. This achievement reflects not just a physical transformation, but also a symbol of the potential for future collaborations. Austin Cameron, founder of Footsteps for Africa, handed over a $1 million Namibian hostel renovation at Eros Girls School, including $30,000 Namibian worth of reusable pads.
They have been supporting Footsteps for Africa for over a decade now, and they are such wonderful people, and I'm truly so grateful for them. The value of this hostel donation from Ciara and Alan Salzman is around $1 million, and this includes renovations to the bathrooms and bedrooms, TVs and couches for the TV room, as well as we will be also donating reusable menstrual pad kits for each of the girls in the hostels, of the 126 girls valued at $50,000 Namibian. And we are just so happy that we are able to support such a wonderful organization as the Eros Girls School. As the video showed and as we have heard about the tremendous impact that this school has, last year when Jordania and I came and saw the hostels, and as we learned what the school does, we realized it was so important for us to be able to support it, and we are so grateful we were able to do that. Speaking of Jordania, I need to do a special thank you for her. She is just incredible. She is my country director for Footsteps for Africa. We met over 10 years ago when she was working for the Namibian. She covered one of the initiatives that I did for Footsteps for Africa in Goran Dam, and we did a kindergarten there. And since then, she...
What an incredible gesture from Footsteps for Africa.
A huge kudos to them. Really, 1 million?
1 million, and they built a hostel. That's something that's you know, it's not like it's not like a Porsche, as we see a lot of the rich boys doing these days. You know, you buy yourself a Porsche, yeah, you're going to enjoy it, but from the day you get it, it's losing value. Or hostel, you're contributing to education, you're contributing to well-being. And perhaps for other Namibians, that's an opportunity to be inspired to do some value addition in your communities.
Of course, and I'd just like to add that Food Steps for Africa really kill two birds with one stone, because we know in Namibia and also in other countries, our neighboring countries, the girl child skips school because of her period.
Exactly.
And I mean, he made sure that they are reusable pads.
Reusable pads,
So,
30,000 worth.
Yes, so
Fantastic
kudos to
work.
them.
Fantastic work. All right. According to Economic News, Meatco is to slaughter 25,000 cattle. Stay with Sunset News.
eTicket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
Now, the Meat Corporation of Namibia kicked off the 2024 cattle marketing season, aiming to procure 25,000 cattle from farmers within the northern communal areas as vital contributors to the country's beef industry. The ambitious target to be processed at the export abattoirs of Rundu and Katima Mulilo is expected to boost local livelihoods and contribute significantly to the national economy. Meatco operates in two abattoirs in the NCA, the Katima Mulilo and the Rundu abattoir, where producers can deliver cattle from specific regions. Katima Mulilo Abattoir sources cattle from producers in the Zambezi region and Mukwe constituency in the Kavango East region. The mobile slaughter unit and the Rundu Abattoir source cattle from the Kavango East and West regions, Tumkwe constituency in the Oshodonjupa region, Ohangwena, Oshikoto, Oshana, Omosati, and Kunene North. According to Meatco cattle procurement manager Timotheus Kativa, the Katima Mulilo Abattoir has a slaughtering capacity of up to 10,000 cattle per annum, while Rundu has a capacity of 15,000. The NCAs have a cattle population of approximately 1.6 million, representing about 60% of the national cattle herd, estimated at 2.5 million. That is such an ambitious target, but we love beef in this country.
Of course.
The
we're
supply, we
Namibians.
can never have any issue with the supply. I think it only works well for the economy, and of course, the more Meatco can deliver, the better it is for local cattle farmers as well.
Yes, I mean,
Yes.
profit both ways.
Profit both ways, Namibia always wins. Stay with us as we have a look at the economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 18.65 next to the US dollar. 23.69 gets you a British pound. 20.41 Namibian dollars means you get a euro. And for 1 Chinese yuan, you get 2.60 Namibian dollars. Looking at commodities, copper made a dip, minus 0.13%, whilst Brent crude oil continues the uptick, plus 2.27%. Now, in international news, Israel responds to the accusations brought by South Africa at the United Nations top court. Stay with us.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Now, Israel has said South Africa has distorted the truth in its case to the International Court of Justice, where it is accusing Israel of genocide. South Africa had presented a sweeping counterfactual description of the Israel-Palestinian conflict. Israeli lawyer Tal Becker told the ICJ. South Africa says Israel is committing genocide against the Palestinians in its war in Gaza. It is also asking the court to order Israel to halt its military activity. The ICJ is the United Nations highest court. Its rulings are theoretically legally binding on parties to the ICJ, which include Israel and South Africa, but are not enforceable. Israel is giving its defense to the court a day after South Africa presented its case outside the legal battleground of the ICJ. Police have created cordons, and this is to ensure rival groups are kept far apart. On one side, Palestinian flags are waved beneath a big screen streaming a live feed from the courtroom. Banners have been unfurled showing images of Nelson Mandela, referencing parallels drawn by South Africa's legal team between the situation in Gaza and the former apartheid era in South Africa. A few hundred meters away, a symbolic Sabbath table has been laid. Photographs have been attached to the back of empty chairs. These show some of more than 130 Israelis who are still being held hostage by Hamas. South Africa asserts that Israel is in violation of the 1949 Genocide Convention, to which both states are signatories and which commits parties to prevent genocide from happening. Israel has been waging a war against Hamas, Gaza's ruling group, since 7 October, when hundreds of Hamas gunmen invaded Israel, killing about 1,300 people and taking some 240 others back to Gaza as hostages. And since then, Israel has killed over 20,000 Palestinians.
That's a lot.
Not to Israel, just based on their rhetoric.
I'm just concerned about everyone, but mostly the babies.
The children, yes. 40% of Palestine is children. It is a child population. It is certainly concerning. Namibia has shown its support for South Africa, understandably so. And in the article we talk about, them referencing their own apartheid, but the showing of Nelson Mandela is a literal reference, because Nelson Mandela called for the freedom of the Palestinians, and there is a statue of Nelson Mandela in Palestine. So South Africa had a very comprehensive case yesterday. Everyone had an idea of what the Israel case would be today. They have been in the process of presenting that case to the ICJ, and it's just a matter of seeing what the ruling, what the ruling means, because as we said, it's not enforceable. Yes. But it is essential for history books. It means when the next politician goes there, someone can call him out and say, hey, didn't you support a genocide? That kind of thing. And of course, it allows there to be some kind of global moral conscience. There's no way we can justify the killing of this many people at any rate from anyone.
We need to hold each other accountable in all the areas possible.
Absolutely. All right, your weather is up next.
We are all seeking connection to each other, to the world, to the spaces we exist in.
Poor sportsmanship right now from the lads.
You might be physically ready, your body is ready, but mentally.
Here's another chance, and it is a goal from Vindo Kahana.
Hy sê wie hy is aan neertrek en daai bal het my grond gevat. Ja, hy het grond gevat en is
but just enough next.
Shh. Running that mountain up. Okay, so we will be doing this for the mountain climber. More advanced, slightly advanced.
So is jou trolley reg? Want
I love it. I love it. So then
we kickstart our countdown at number 5 with this one.
Op Netwerk TV se Klets Kompas gesels ons nuus van 'n Maandag tot Donderdag. Ons kyk ook na die weer en meer. Stories wat jou raak en stories wat saak maak.
They've made a mistake in denying me bail, and they've made several other mistakes in many other cases.
The channels that teach us something new or reflect our expression. So it goes beyond switching to the right station. It's about choosing the experience that can adorn the present, dressing it with our tastes as we expand our preferences, because what we are actually connecting to is boundless, limitless human energy. And this is the spirit of NTV.
You're still with Sunset News. Let's have a look at the weather predictions. Windhoek is partly cloudy, expecting 21 degrees Celsius minimum. Tsumeb can expect some rains alongside Katima Mulilo, Rundu and Enana, as well as Khobabes. Particularly windy in Luderitz, sunny in Alliansvlei and Keetmanshoop. It's mostly cloudy, partly cloudy along the coast, and pretty hot if you ask me. That's in Mariento, 37 degrees Celsius maximum expected. Those have been our weather predictions. It's time for me to take a seat and bring you the sport. Good evening and welcome to Sport Wrap for Sunset News. Let's get straight into our stories. The 2023 Nedbank Desert Classic saw returning champions Jordan and Kevin Wenzel cement their names in the history books of the competition as one of the first ever father and son team to win the Nedbank Desert Classic back-to-back. The 2023 Nedbank Desert Classic, dubbed Namibia's Major, took place from 28 to 29 December last year at the Rossmond Golf Course in Swakopmund. The two-day golf tournament saw a record-breaking 164 players, the biggest field of players since the inception of the series, take on the challenge and be crowned as the tournament winners. Father and son duo Jordan Wenzel and Kevin Wenzel, aged 13 and 49, won the tournament on 93 points, and they were followed by Christopher Durant and Walter Maske in second place with 92, and in third Boris Erasmus and Grant Matter with 91 points. Now, Nigeria has been dealt a further injury blow ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations finals after striker Umar Sadiq was ruled out of the tournament due to a knee problem and replaced by Paul Onaoachu, officials confirmed on Friday. Nigeria have already lost forward Victor Boniface and midfielder Wilfred Ndidi due to injury, while striker Kelechi Iheanacho has had a muscle problem and is expected to arrive in the Ivory Coast on Saturday. Real Sociedad striker Sadiq had been a doubt for some with his knee injury, but was officially ruled out 2 days before Nigeria opened their tournament against Equatorial Guinea in Abidjan on Sunday. Onuachu, 29, has spent his season on loan at Turkish side Trabzonspor from Southampton, where he has scored 9 league goals in 15 starts. He last played for Nigeria in March 2023, and Nigeria will also face host Ivory Coast and Guinea-Bissau in Group A. Host South Africa have stripped skipper David Tira of the captaincy for the Under-19 Cricket World Cup amid fears he could be a target for anti-war protesters, but he will remain a part of the squad, officials confirmed on Friday. Tira was cleared of wrongdoing by an independent inquiry which was established by Cricket South Africa last month, and this was following comments he made in support of Israeli soldiers at an awards ceremony in October. The teenager was recognized at the Jewish Achiever Awards and said, "I'm not the rising star, but the true rising stars are the young soldiers in Israel, and I'd like to dedicate it to the state of Israel and every single soldier fighting so that we can live and thrive in the diaspora." The comments drew the ire of the Palestine Solidarity Alliance, who lodged a complaint with the South African Sports Confederation and Olympic Committee. Those have been our sports stories.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraika. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
All right, and we certainly look forward to AFCON kicking off tomorrow. The Brave Warriors of Namibia have just had their very first training training session at Stadium de Kohogo in Cote d'Ivoire, and we certainly hope that Peter Shalile and the boys will make Namibia proud. And of course, all African nations. Let's have a group: Southern Africa, Zambia, all the best, and let's see how the AFCON transpires. However, with that, we have come to the end of of the broadcast. Do make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook on all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website 1up2.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV 285 and GoTV 25 every weekday from 7:30 p.m. But before we close off, get ready for the glitz and glamour as Network Television presents the first ever NTV Awards ceremony. NTV Awards nominations are here. Cast your vote now for your favorite talk show by WhatsApping hashtag NTV Awards 2024 to 085-785-6231 and following the instructions, voting for the best talk show, which for us is Sunset News. Voting closes on the 1st of February 2024. This has been Sunset News from Micheline Navadesis and Ashwin Berry. Don't end your day without us.